Libra, I'm here to drop in with you for a message of the moment. These are timeless messages. Whatever comes on through is what comes on through. Sometimes it can be predictive in nature. Sometimes the storyline will tap into something that's going on right now. So just be open and flip-flop roles as you need to. Assign genders as you need to. All of it, okay? It's just energy I'm reading. And it's up to you how it's speaking to you. Trust your own intuition. This is important. And yeah, let's just dive into it, see what wants to come on through. This is for any Libra placement, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, North Node, Mercury, Mars, Saturn, Pluto. Prominent 7th house placement. Or if you're an Aries rising, you may find a lot of resonance with this message, especially around the area of relationships, if anything relational comes in. All right, Libra? We're going to use the Arcane BS deck tonight. I'm just really enjoying working with this deck. I feel like you are sort of like deep in a mystery, like steeped in a mystery. You might have been exploring the mysteries recently. You might have really been kind of like out on the ether, wandering in the alfalfa. You know, sometimes you can traipse off there and get lost for a while, be there for a bit too long. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's something that you have been resolving. I feel like it could be like a psychological knot you've been untying, or just sort of a mystery. You've been trying to get the answers about something. And as you've explored this thing, it's led you deeper and deeper and deeper into yourself. It's like it's taken you to deeper layers of yourself. You're discovering certain things about yourself that you never saw before. I also feel like you're doing a lot of unraveling at this time. Just there's a lot of what's traditional that you're sort of like shedding, letting go. You're trusting your own soul's path. You're trusting your own expression of what spirit means to you, perhaps for some of you. Some of you might have like what's viewed as unconventional beliefs or unconventional spirituality. And you're just really allowing yourself to step into that because you want to be there. Like you want to be steeped in this like weird ass mystical shit. You may be tired of just sort of like everyday life, you know, you're wanting something a little bit more. And so you're kind of like just allowing yourself to bring in more, explore more. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yes, yes, yes. You're tired of dealing with, you know, things that run off with your heart when all they wanted was just a little pie. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I think that there's certain things that maybe used to nurture you or you thought nurtured you with this woman breastfeeding a VCR, but you now realize it's outdated. It's an outmoded way of seeing things, viewing things. I feel like even in relationship, but it's not just relationship. It's in everything. It's in how you work, how you connect with people, who you hang out with, what you do on a day-to-day basis. There's like this desire for something other level, something more, something that fulfills you a little bit more. Like, and breaking from what, you know, has been the norm in your life or what is expected of you or what's traditional. And I think there's something happening. You know, some might say it's a midlife crisis. They might, you know, if you're of that age, okay? But I feel like you're reinventing yourself. It's not anything that's contrived, though. It's that you're going through this sort of like unraveling process of even how you viewed yourself. You're having some kind of, well, I mean, you are in the South Node, all right? That's what it's about. It's about really like being in that place of karmic balancing and tying up old cycles so you can really rise up into your North Node and move out of that fate into your destiny. So I do feel like you are in this like place, this interesting juxtaposition for Libra, which is like straddling creation and destruction. You're like in the balancing point of this. And it is a little weird and mystical, and it does take you out there because there's so much that's like always the internal riddle to solve when we're in any kind of cathartic process where we're going through a huge, even identity shift because of certain foundational changes that are occurring in our lives or where we're feeling called. You know, a lot of you are experiencing purpose activation. It makes sense. And there's probably a lot of people that aren't even Libras that would relate to this coming in because Libra is in the South Node. So it tinges the experience for everyone. And yeah, there's a lot of relationship stuff coming up. You may have even dealt with something where you had sort of a weighing up in your mind, like, do I want to be vulnerable? Do I want to make my heart accessible to somebody? Because it always stings. Somebody always runs off with my heart, you know, and then I feel like there's this something missing there, you know. Maybe even looking at ways that you gave yourself away in relationships in the past, something like this. Maybe, you know, you are drawn to somebody that they just want superficiality, you know, they just want to connect on a carnal level, which, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But you might just feel like, you know, I want a little bit more of that. Or maybe you're in need of a little more carnal fulfillment. But at the same time, you want it to be safe, to also open your heart. Why does it have to be an either or? You know? I don't know. You might be grappling with some things of this nature. So let's see what is coming in here for Libra. Libra, you got a lot going on, apparently, you know? A lot going on. We hadn't even really started getting into shuffling these cards yet. Yeah, I mean, you're going through some major transitions here. There's all kinds of new doors that are opening up for you. And do you see it's an elevation process? You're rising up. I'm telling you, you're rising up out of those South Node energies. You're closing up the old karmic cycles. Before you do, though, there's certain doors that you have to pass through. So this is a multi-layered experience. But with every step you're taking, it's an elevation, and you're following that light that's at the end there. That's your North Node. That's that destiny you're reaching. And you're getting dealt cards, you know, as you go. That's what fate is. You get dealt a card, and you're playing your hand. And every hand that you play, you're taking the next step up. You're seeing it through. You're doing this. You're doing this, Libra, okay? At some points, I don't know why, but it's given this vibe to me. I'm probably, because I got it like really at the forefront of my consciousness. We're going to be coming up to a Chinese New Year. It's year of the wood dragon, or what some call the green dragon. And it's very interesting to me because it reminds me of, you know, Enter the Dragon with Bruce Lee and the Hall of Mirrors portion of that fight scene, the big culmination. And so as you're reaching that culmination point, you know, is there something inside yourself, maybe of reflection, something that is keeping you held back maybe a little bit from really stepping into that culmination point? Are you telling yourself that there's an obstacle to getting there? There's something here that needs to be seen in the mirror. It might be mirrored to you through reflections you're getting from experiences you're having, perhaps from encountering different faces from your past, different experiences from your past, looking at things in a new way from a new level of understanding. This is a growth process. It's good. All right. But I do pick up this vibe too, like that Hall of Mirrors, like sort of really trying to see, like, who is the opponent? Is there an opponent? You know what I mean? There's something you're really looking at here. You're overcoming something within yourself, you know, and it's overcoming what's almost can be viewed as like, it's like dealing with the protagonist, you know, but on the way, before you can overcome the protagonist in your story, whatever that is, whether it's a person, place, or thing, you have to first encounter the protagonist within yourself. you know? And we do that through the journey of facing off with the antagonist first. So it's like before you can come into that place of alignment with that thing that is going to fulfill you, that's going to be that North Node, first you have to encounter everything that's getting in the way or is the antithesis of that. Everything that is facing off with you, challenging you at each of these gates. You can see it as gateways of initiation too, that you have to pass through. You'll also notice though, that as you elevate, the steps you have to take are much smaller. You know, they're not such a big step up. It becomes easier to hit this point. This is where you need your focal point to be right now. Everything else is just a passing reflection. 10:44 on the clock. This is coming through really strongly. Okay, what's at that focal point? What's at that, what's called a Bindu point when working with mandalas? Future grandma. Interesting. Future grandma. The wise part of you that knows just how out there it's going to get. The part of you that already sees, has insight into what's a secret at this time. It's just like an inner knowing of what your future involves. It involves you reaching out into expansion, okay? I want to bring this in here because I am noticing, you know, the extra insulation that's on this body here, on this earth suit here. Isn't it interesting though? Look, the earth suit is like out in space, okay? There was already this piece about you really like sinking into the mystery, wandering off into the alfalfa. This is an important piece to remember here, that sometimes there can be a tendency to sort of eat as a way to ground the body. And yet to run energy as you open up to expansion, it's important that it's like clean fuel, because that's actually what helps root you in your body in a way that is strengthening rather than maybe turning to some comfort eating. Some of you might feel like that. If you've really been in a time of moving into expansion, people don't talk about this nearly enough, all right? But when people get blasted open, and people are starting to go through what some would call, you know, an ascension process, all right? It's just really like moving into your higher levels of spiritual growth and personal development. It's accessing more of your consciousness power. And as you do that, you know, you're disrupting a lot of beliefs and you're kind of like bumping up against comfort zones. So at times of expansion, especially energetically, you know, when you're working through your chakra system, your crown's like getting blown open, you know, maybe a lot of you are feeling this, you know, and I think this is close to the bone for a lot of people at this time. Just how could it not be with everything that's been happening for the past few years, but especially, you know, on the dawning of the age of Aquarius, we're heading into this for the next 20 years. I feel like you're kind of a little bit ahead of the curve on this, Libra. I feel like you've already been tapping into this energy. We already know your energy plays a significant role in the launch with the dawning of the age of Aquarius, because you're holding down that South Node. You're representing the need to Queen of Swords, King of Swords, act decisive, cut away that which no longer serves the expansion. All right? So there's, I don't know why all that wanted to come in, but that is wanting to come in. So there is this piece that move into expansion in the right ways. I guess that's the way it's coming through, you know. Move into expansion in a way that's grounded, that's solid, that's strong, okay? Move into expansion by learning how to you work with different techniques like breath work, or how you move your body, you know. And when you are, you know, eat from a place of like really like fortifying the vessel. So this could be like, I don't know why I'm picking this up, and maybe a little comfort eating coming in, because you might sense the expansion that you're moving into, and you might be taking the expansion on physically because it feels overwhelming emotionally, mentally, energetically, when you feel what you're about to step into. In other words, you're needing to level up. But the best way to step into this level up that's coming your way through many doors of opportunity that are about to open for you, you got to be in a really strong position. Okay, so your health is wealth right now. It's also what's going to help you really be able to emotionally, mentally, spiritually handle what's coming into your life at this time. This is a good thing, all right? It's a good thing. I feel like at the end of the day, after you move into this expansion, you're going to be in this place where you're going to be like telling the youngins about it, telling them your story. You're going to have an anecdote to share. I got that. But I think there's times when you're going through this process that it feels like an infinite cosmic mess. It's the goop stage when you're in a process of transformation, just like that caterpillar has to completely dissolve. I feel like you're dissolving right now. I also see that if you get on this, level of really like paying attention to the care of your body as a way to really like root your vision in your material reality, you're going to just clean up so much and clear out so much from your physical vessel that it's going to really be a whole different experience for you. It's an interesting thing what happens when our physical health needs attention or care, and we're kind of like putting it on the back burner. But once we start to really clear that out on every level, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and we start experiencing those physical results, by really tending to our body, giving good care to our body, the way what was blocking our path, the way what was messy in our path, or what was just kind of like clogging up the channels of creativity clears out, all right? So I do feel like you're going to clear this out. You're going to clear out an infinite cosmic mess. Ooh, yeah, the parasitic fruit, okay? So there is this piece here about, you may have been tempted to connect with something that actually would block your freaking vision, man. All right? Block your vision. And there is a need to close off like some karmic cycle. And this could have to do with a love offer, something being extended your way that just doesn't, it's not right. It's not what you're looking for, Yeah. And I mean, maybe this is hard at times to ward this off because we do have this super horny porno owl here. All right. So, I think this is the thing though, isn't it interesting? Like, it's almost like coming through like this book of knowledge kind of vibe though. You're like, I don't want just that. I don't want just like the hookup. It just leads to a big infinite cosmic mess, I don't want all that. I'm not into that. I don't want to be corded in. It's not just one person corded in here. Look at all the different, cords here. I don't want to be like attached to all these people, This coming in. I want something more, man. I want somebody who's, opened up the book of knowledge. Open up the book of knowledge. They want to, have an elevated experience. But I feel like what you're stepping into, though it has these seeds, this probably is like related to past experiences in matters of the heart and matters of intimacy. I think you are looking at this, but I also feel like sometimes, we create things, that we think are really going to nourish us, feed us, and then they end up being an infinite cosmic mess. Not quite what we were hoping for, okay? So there's this piece here about there's really a need for you to get focused from something that feels like it's messy and it's on the periphery and it's sort of like it acts as a distraction to you. And maybe you thought that you were going to, have a new beginning in a particular direction, or you were open to something and something shifting here for you. Whatever this is, though, there's a need to kind of like clear up the consciousness, get focused, get into some kind of routine and really like tend to the physical right now. Take your steps, keep stepping into it and clear out this energy here. All right. Clear out this energy here because there's something like you're meaning You're meaning to step into this expansion and something that's awakening in you, that's activating some kind of higher knowledge about the best way for you to move forward. I think there's a lot of guidance coming in regard to this, but you keep getting distracted by something that's exactly the purpose it serves. It's to put a block in you continuing to move forward. You know, it's time to get focused by hunkering down. That's what I got. Yeah, and if you don't, you know, if you don't heed this, you're gonna be really effing effed, man. You are. You are. You know, and you know it. You gotta act on this, you know. You gotta jump into the fire. You gotta go through the transformation. That's part of it. That's part of it. You know, that's part of it. You got to burn through some old stuff. You got to burn through some old karma, you know. Sometimes it can be messy too, like moving through this stuff, clearing out attachments, you know, questioning the desires, you know. I think there's some things that you used to desire and you feel very different about them now, you know. And in matters of the heart, I have to say, some of you might be like, I'm fine, just, you know, being a fat old grandma. That's fine with me, hanging out with my pets, you know. Some of you may have felt like, you know, the vision of what kind of experience you've wanted to have on that level, you know, in connecting with the person. And I'm picking up especially on a sexual level, just kind of was like, you know, you may feel like, I'll tend to my own pussycat. Thank you very much. You know, I don't know. Instead of always having to deal with all this that comes with it, it like brings the joy level down. It brings the joy level down significantly. I also feel like there's something more beyond this, and that's, you know, do you see how distractionary it is? There's something more beyond this. Whatever this situation is, it's not important. Because you're meant to, like, go beyond, you know. Keep taking your steps. Don't lose your focus. Let this hall of mirrors kind of just, you know, be a passing reflection as you're taking the next step up. Because there is thirsty energy here. You hear Ted laughing away there? There's thirsty energy here. Thirsty for attention. You know what I'm saying? It's like sometimes that's why things get dramatic. Because something's thirsty for your attention, but there's a right way to get somebody's attention, and there's a way that's just sabotaging, and you feed into it if you stop to look too long in that reflection. If you do, it's reflecting something back at you, you know, that needs to be seen. All right, so keep it moving. I got that, and I got keep it moving, you know. Move your body too. Keep your body moving. There's a lot about connecting it with the body. I think you've been kind of up in the air for a bit too long, but a bit too up in that ether air energy, you know. It's like there's a need to get some kind of rooting going on here. I feel that really strongly, Libra. Let's get an overarching theme here for you with a super awesome future card, because I'm really curious, like, what is this that you are stepping into? We know it's expansive. We know that the expansion that you're stepping into and this like leveling up, it feels a little overwhelming to you, but you'll realize that if you keep really focused on the end goal, which is just getting to your destiny and leaving behind these old unhealthy, you know, cycles, habits, beliefs, you know, it applies on every level, that you'll find the steps become easier and the progress becomes faster. You may have felt like progress was really slow, or you've been held back. It's because of blocks you've had within yourself, where you've been looking at certain reflections of your past, reflections of yourself, you know, for far too long, reflections of a situation. When you reflect too much, it can put you like in this like labyrinth energy where you feel like you're traveling through a maze. And then you can get kind of stuck there. It can take you too far out into the ethers. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, no, you know, get focused on what's in front of you. Don't lose your momentum at a time like this. You got to keep it moving. And in some cases, you are being intentionally distracted from that by just like, you know, people doing the most. People doing the most so they can get your attention. And there's a healthy way to request attention. And then there's an unhealthy way, and this is disruptive. So you need to disengage from what's disruptive. Yeah, there he is, the cat lady. Isn't it funny? I'm sorry. I think a lot of Libras are in this space. They're just like, I'm just chill. You may have some people kind of like hovering around you, like wanting to know what's up, you know, what's going on. I mean, you're in the process of like closing a cycle. I also feel like you are a little in hermit mode, but it ain't a bad thing. Like you're enjoying it. You're enjoying dropping in with yourself. You're enjoying being in your own energy. Look at it. This character here is chill. They're not stressed out, man. They're lounging and they're just like, no, I'm good. I'm just vibing in my own energy. It feels good to just be in my own energy for a change. But there's all these people that, you know, are moving around like, and just look, it's like, it's got energy, like trying to overhear something. Oh yeah. Oh no, just pass them through. Don't mind me. You good? You good? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you're feeling chill here. You know what you're doing. You know the choices you're making. You know why you're making them. You know, I also feel like you're not sharing this. I'm like, there's even the granny with the cat in the stroller there. I don't think you care. You're like, if I end up, you know, doing my own thing, I'm good. You know, you're feeling good in your independent energy. I think this is good. And I like this for you, Libra. Because Libra normally can have a tendency in the shadow to be overly accommodating in relationships, like willing to just go the extra mile for the sake of romance. And then they can end up in these really compromising situations where they set themselves up. You know, they set themselves up. And they don't want to do that, you know, they want to believe in the best of people, you know, sometimes it doesn't work. Yeah, you know, that's what I see here. Look at this. We got vigor and we got lightning. All right. So you're right now, I'm telling you, you are trying to get to the other side of something. Right? The chicken crossed the road to get to the other side. All right. And there's something that you're dragging behind you here, you know, and it's old. It's not your job to school people about your destiny, what you're doing, where you're going. And if they want to know, then they can ask outright. You know what I'm saying? You've been sitting here trying to clear out, you know, some old stuff. You're ready to breathe some fresh life in. You've been trying to balance things between your head and your heart. You've been trying to make a choice here. How are you supposed to get to the other side with you dragging all this behind you, you know? No. You know, it's up to each individual to make choices in their life. You got to stop trying to, you know, worry about whatever is going on or get pulled into, you know, anybody else's energy. There's something here that's coming to like wake you up with the lightning. All right. This is a big moment to like make you realize like it's time to jumpstart here. You can't just sit here and be bogged down, you know. I want to know what this is, so I'm going to just do a cut of the deck here. What is this like? Top card? Okay. Top card, and then I'm going to do a cut of the deck. Oh my gosh. Libra. Abundance. Abundance. You're getting off of this path and you're stepping onto that yellow brick road. You got an adventure in store. You may have been plodding along. You may have been working really hard to get to a goal. Remember, I said as you keep taking the steps and stay focused, the steps become smaller and smaller. Oh my goodness. Abundance. Okay, this looks good. So rise in fortune. Something's growing here. There's an adventure attached to it. I feel like it's an opportunity. Remember, all the opportunities are going to start coming in. Cut of the deck. All right, got a house. And a temptation. A temptation, okay? This is very interesting. Very interesting. Do you hedge your bets? A tempting offer. There's some snakes in the grass. Everybody's listening in. They want to know what you're going to do. All right? Yes, things are about to get a little surreal. Keep your wits about you, all right? I don't know, though. I feel like you got cause for celebration here. You just got to be mindful. You got to be mindful. There's something here about stick to those that you... Oh, I didn't even mean to pick up that card. Look, it got attached. Oh, wild. I didn't even mean to do that. Stick to those that you know you can count on, okay? There's something here you got to remember, some knowledge from the past, all right? It's very, very important. There are people here you got to be aware of. They know that you got something strong with somebody. A strong, you know, person in your corner. And there's some opportunity coming in here. Somebody's got, you know, your back in this situation. You do need to rely on your knowledge, like what you know to be true. You're really going to have to listen to your instincts on this one. But there are some people here that are on the periphery. And they would like to have you fooled, have you duped, you know, have you duped out of your spot. So be mindful about this, okay? And I'm just going to leave it at that. But there's a full house on deck. Don't fumble the bag.